All right, hello everyone. Welcome to Pura Design Studios, where I show you just how things work with regards to generating sales for your business. Pura Design is actually we are into branding, but today I want to show you some simple tips, some DIY things that you can do with regards to creating more engaging content. So today I want to introduce you to a software that is called Pixel Lab. Actually, Pixel Lab is a graphics design software which allows you to create graphics. The reason why I'm sharing this with you, I understand that for most startup businesses who don't have money to pay for professional services, professional designers to help them create their content or put their content out there, I'm here to guide you through the foundation processes where you can create little catchy little things that can help you say and send out your message out there for people to resonate and connect with you for your target audience. So I'm going to throw a deep dive into how Pixel Lab works. So just stay with me as I proceed. All right, so I'm going to open Pixel Lab right now, and as you can see, it's loading up the mainframe. And first of all, this is the interface of how Pixel Lab is. Actually, you can go to Google Play Store and download Pixel Lab. It's absolutely free. I mean, like, you can use these simple free tools to create amazing things. I've had a whole lot of designs that I've actually used on Pixel Lab. Some of them I've actually indicated on my page that it has been designed through the use of Pixel Labs. So I just want to show you how you can do it. Understand, some of you startups, you really need this go through and this foundational process, which I'm here to show you. So let's begin by taking a broad overview of what the interface looks like. It's very simple, and I just want to take you through the process. Now over here is where you have the themes. Okay, like this is the default themes. Once you open Pixel Lab, this is where you get the the default theme is going to come up, which has this glossy lemon or green feeling. Now you can change the theme if you're looking for something else very quickly, and then you can quickly edit the text by clicking here, edit, and it's going to edit the text. Let me show you what I mean quickly. If you click on text edit, where you have new text, you can just erase and put something, or here you can change and you just type it back to uh, something like this. Okay, and you click on OK. Alright, so that's the foundation. So you can keep changing themes. Okay, I'm gonna press it here. You can, any theme that you feel comfortable with. This one, I like using this for my book cover designs. And then you have all this on the right side of the panel is where you have the themes. We have 3D themes, we have curved text, we have a glossy handwriting text, we have this old or new text here, this display text. With in terms of graphic text, we have this glossy reflective text, we have this outline. All these things help you to create not just writing contents and putting out there with a whole bunch of articles, because it may not create the kind of engagement that you're looking for. We're both aware that pictures speaks 1,000 words. They speak faster than words. So while you're trying to communicate, it's also essential for you to use visuals to also tell your stories that can evoke the right emotion and can cause your target audience to take action. You want them to take action. If you want them to buy, let them understand that this is what you're selling, and they can understand what is there, because its pictures somehow are universal. It's a universal language. So you use these visuals to communicate with them effectively. But how do you use this visual? And that's what I want to share with you. But before I teach you how to use these visuals, so many people like to use Canva, and sometimes you could have, for some people that are in a very that are found in very remote areas, I think one of the challenges they have could be use internet services or network. Sometimes you might be in a situation whereby you don't have a Wi-Fi, or network availability is very poor. So this tool can really help you. That's the advantage. It allows you to work offline, and when you're comfortable, you can now upload to any of the social media platforms. So I've shown you what this panel is. It's the theme for the project. What kind of appearance, what kind of general feel, more like some templates. Provide some template where you can quickly edit your text and then put in something and communicate as fast as possible that is different from the general norm. Now I'm going to break it down here. Understand that you cannot try to use this allows you to come up from a very different perspective where you are not just using what every other person is using. Okay, so it does. If they had just default theme, it would be very easy for it would be hard for people to stand out. Like I said, branding is the act of differentiation. So if you're looking at standing out, then you have to also be different. So what this tool helps you do is to provide those templates that help. If one person is doing this one, you can also do it this one and approach this the other way. So I'm going to show you how you can totally change these stuffs here and create your own unique and custom design that actually represents and resonates with your brand or your products and your services. Okay, I'm going to move to the next direction where I'm going to talk about this lower section here. Now this lower section here is where you have the control tabs. Okay, and by the time you press it, this is where you have your toolbars, and by the time you press it, you click on it, you're gonna see options are gonna come out, and here you have, these are the options that are coming out, which is text or introduce quote. Now as you're doing a deep dive into it, you understand better into the program. This is where you have your shape tools, and this is where you have your picture editing tools that helps you to just edit some pictures. But let's get started towards the foundation of what this thing is. Over here you have this is layer. This is where you have the zoom key. If I want to click on zoom, I can zoom in my project to a very deeper level. I can put in the figure, or I can create a zoom, or okay, I'm gonna find a way how to do that. And here you have the layers where everything will be on in terms of arrangement. I usually tell people the brief way I usually explain what layers is like, take a look at, maybe you're trying to have a stack of your plates in your kitchen, okay, your utensils. So those stack up of which should come first, which should be the foundation, which is bigger, which should come on top, which is smaller, and all those arrangement is what you call what we term here to be layers. So next over here is where you can add your pictures, your stickers from gallery, maybe adding your resources from text to date to stickers to shapes to gallery, and you can also draw with your we have an artificial pencil here. Like I said, it's more like a drawing to a design tool. So just like you using your physical drawing brush, you can also use some artificial or digital drawing brush here to do what you want to do. Here you have to save your project as you're proceeding. Here you have to share, okay, and then you can introduce some simple quotes where you can talk about your products and services in a very easy way. I'm going back here, and then it here and add here is almost the same thing, but the last thing I like to say from here is just some support services. So it's not really important. I just use some support services. I think in Pixel Lab you have a more recent version, so you can all check that out. All right. So let's get started. First of all, okay, so I'm using an Android emulator to record this on my screen, just more like something that I'm just showing you how it works. So the idea is just to share with you what it looks like on your tab, what it looks like on your smartphone, what it looks like on your devices. Okay, so whatever you can do. Sometimes when you're working with your smartphone, you can use your fingers to do a whole lot of things in terms of zooming in, but over here what you do is I'm going to use control and my scroll wheel to do that. So as I use my control and my scroll wheel, I can now zoom in and zoom out, which if I turn off the zoom, it's not gonna work no more. All right, so that's how it's gonna look like. So but if I turn on my zoom tool and I hit my scroll wheel, I can now scroll inside to check out a little bit deeper into some of the visual hierarchies that I'm going to be doing. Now, that's what I shared with you in regards to designing, and we're going to be applying those principles right here, where I'm going to be taking a deep dive into how to design compelling graphics for your content and then create the conversion that you need. So let's get started. First of all, what I'm going to do is, it's on default, so I'm going to click on this new text and I'm going to delete it. Okay, I'm going to delete that. I can click here and it's going to delete as an option. Okay, so I'm going to add, the first thing I'm going to add, I hope I find something to use, is I'm going to add resources, and the first thing I'm going to add is an image. So I'm going to bring in here, I'm going to say add from gallery, image from gallery. I hope to find something. Okay, wow, great. Great job. Looks like I've been working a whole lot, but actually it's been long I used this software. So virtually it's synchronizing with all the information I ever saved here, and I've been working so amazing. Actually, I'm a graphics designer, so you can see a whole lot of branding projects that I've been doing for very simple things that I just did with the help of Pixel Lab. So I'm going to pick up one picture here, at least something very decent to use, and I'm going to introduce it into my design. So by the time you pick up a picture, the next thing it shows you is the orientation and the scale. If I lock this here, I'm not going to be able to do anything to this image with regards to scaling or shrinking the size or something like that. Okay, like if I lock it here, I'm not going to be able to do anything in terms of to the side. I'm only going to be scale it with regards to the diagonals actually to get me. But if I unlock it, I can now shrink it in terms of proportions and stuff like that. Maybe I want to take this guy alone to have some kind of a reasonable visual and text balance with regards to principles of lower thirds. Okay, I might want to use this to actually work that way, but the idea is just for you to understand what this knob is. Then this button right here actually allows you to rotate. Like you can see, you can rotate the picture as much as you want, and then you can rotate it to the right as much as you want. Then this gives you the kind of circular hole stuff that you might want to use, and I like to forget about that. This gives you some quick size fixes that you can use without automatic scales. So the more you click it, remember this knob gets locked. So I like to keep it at a regular proportion, or then at the end of it, if I click on this, it totally scales everything. This means I want to alter anything with regards to rescaling, and then it will open on my project. While this means as soon as I've picked up a scale, I can click OK and we're done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shrink it to this side, just where I can get a reasonable picture in terms of getting just a visible part of this picture, this image right here to work with. And guess what? I might want to advertise clothing line, and guess what? I might want to just advertise about my products or services, and guess what? I might want to talk about my brand message with regards to freedom, regards to rest, regards to whatever I'm going to be talking about. So I can go ahead and click OK, and I'm done. Okay, so automatically it sends my picture into my dashboard where I can work, or some people might really want to call it the Canva. So this is my workspace and my area. I can now proportionally scale this picture. To some people, if I want to do something else, I could leave this space for my text and just create that portfolio that I want to use with regards to, let's say, 50 or 60% off on all sales. So let's see how I can do that very quickly. Oh, that picture, it's I can undo. This is undo, please, so don't forget that. All right, so watch me as I put things together with regards to the design. So that's the first thing I'm introducing. The second thing like I said, this is where you add your resources. You keep adding resources till you have what you're looking for. So the next thing I'm going to add is going to be my shapes. I've been doing a whole lot of the design tricks and tricks on this thing, so you need to understand. So I'm going to bring in my shapes. And what do I want to bring my shapes in for? I want to bring in my shapes to do something very nice. I'm going to drag it down. Please follow me. Sometimes it's that's how we just get to do these things very easily. Okay, I'm gonna drag it down, and I'm gonna I'm gonna click on OK. But before I click on OK, let's say I want to pick a color theme that is one of these color themes to resonate with my background, because I may not like this all white stuff. You definitely want to change thing. Well, here's where you can change the color. Immediately introduce a shape or plain shape or the geometrical shape. It allows you to change the feel. It allows you to change the shape itself. So if I want to change the shape itself, I can pick up here and I say, okay, I need any of the shapes here, from heart to call out to polygons and ellipse here, and stars and lines and everything. So that's where your shape is, in case you want to change it. Okay, then I can also decrease the opacity of the shape. If it were to be on this image right here, I can decrease the opacity, and you can see that's how we decrease the opacity. So if you want to create more like a text overlay, all right, on this picture, and let me show you something. As if I wanted to create a text overlay on this picture, I could change it to this and then see how far I can create an overlay on this picture talking about my products and services. I mean, this is so amazing. I don't want to do that right now because that's not the direction I want to peak. So I'm going to show you something that is going to work. So I'm going to increase this opacity right back, and if you want to change it to gradient, maybe like you have about two colors in one shape, you can click on gradient here and you'll be able to have those kind of gradients feel in your design. And the more I want it, you can just pick up something that works. If I want to change it, but I'll just go ahead. I think that really makes sense. Yeah, we should use that. Okay, let's see. If I want to create a new gradient, I can come here and click on creating a new gradient. I can change my gradient direction. I can pick up a color that is a whole lot different, and I can come here to my paint bucket and pick up some kind of color. I may say, okay, if I'm not picking up a color here, okay, I can now take a color from here towards the direction and then click on OK. So I think this would work, and I can go ahead and click OK. Then from there, I can now, should we? Yes, we should. Okay, so this is stroke width, where you can affect a whole lot of stroke here. With stroke with regards to this object, that's the contour or the outline. So if I increase the outline, you see it has an outline that's coming out, and I can increase the outline and then create an opacity there regards to what I'm looking for. So it create that kind of effect for me that I still have an area in which I can work with very well. So stroke color, you can change it. For me, I think black is just fine. So if I'm done with those basic editing, I can now create OK, and then it's time to add my text. So that's step 3. The picture was step 1. Step 2 was to add a shape that I'm going to use to put my text, and step 3 would be to add the text. So I'm going to come here and create add text, and I'm going to drag it here and to a place that I need, and click on this button right here to edit it. So I'm going to type in super discount sale, and I'm going to change everything to uppercase. You see, I just showed you how to do things very easily, alright, without much further ado. So that's where you change it. And how about if I want to change the font? I don't want to use a font that some other person might want to use. I don't even want someone to know that, wow, I use this thing on my smartphone, my smart device. I want to have this professional feel. So I'm going to help you do that, so it doesn't look like everyone is using an Arial font, the same kind of font. Like, yeah, I want you to look unique, because it's part of branding that we do, which is my job to help you to look different from every other person. Okay, so This is how I take you through the whole process. So now I want to change my font. How am I going to do that? Well, remember this column here, right? Remember this column in this section right here where I told you about the text and the shapes and the other picture editing. So this was a theme. So if you click on the text, it allows us to more like modify the text properties, right? So let's go to, I can say styles, however I want it to be curved, to edit. Well, that's not if I want to copy it. You can see options here. You can go ahead and try the options by your own self. Well, I'm going to be focusing on text size. You see texture, maybe you want to bring in a pattern or something. If you're into traditional wears or African wears on all those kind of things, you can bring in those kind of textures or fabrics that can work here. If you're trying to communicate some kind of a digital, a tech, something, you could have your own textures that are already pre-designed and you can introduce it into your project. I mean, this is so easy and so flexible. So I'm giving you this content out here for free. Sometimes when my client is on me and I want to do some fast jobs and send to them, I usually turn on my smartphone to do things. It's not really just every time you're on the computer, because all the principles are the same. Like I shared to you, it helps you just navigate through achieving some results. So these are the options. Opacity, if I want to reduce the opacity of this text, if I want to change the color, if I want to rotate the text, my main focus would be on the font. This is curved, this is aligned, this is background of the text, this is spacing, this is line spacing, a whole lot of stuff. I mean, like just what you would do on a normal PC with a normal professional software, this can help you achieve that. And guess what? It's totally free. Like, it's totally free. Pixel Lab is so free, and you're doing these amazing things. So let's just focus on how to change the font. So I'm going to change the font because I don't want to look like some other person. Okay, I want to approach this thing from some workable branding approach. Okay, so I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna pick a good font that work for me. There's a whole lot of font that they have. I want something that is bold and strong. So I like this font right here, but you know, I'm trying to come out a little bit corporate. All right, so I like this font right here. It's good. I use chunk 5. I like arm wrestler, like it's really amazing. But how about this one? Let's see. And I press on OK. Like you can see your fonts, where you can import fonts to your system, and this is the one I've chosen so far. So I'm going to click on OK, and I like it so much. So let me create a little bit of a spacing to that. So I want my text to have room to breathe. So I'm going to come here to spacing, and I'm going to increase the layer spacing a little bit. Okay, it's too much. Okay, at least 4 would work, please. Okay, let's keep it at 4 if I'm going to change it and click OK. Then I'm going to go back to this text right here. I'm going to edit it a bit before I change the text. Okay, let's increase the size a bit to see what I'm looking for. I want it to be bold, tight, and strong. Bold, tight, and strong. Yeah, I think that'll work. I'm going to drag it somewhere there. And I'm going to edit it back to here. Put it there and click on OK. Alright, then I'm going to cause some sort of center line. I'm going to create this align to the center. I'm going to pick on center line. I'm not picking on justify. And then here's what I'm going to do as the final stuff. I'm going to do a little bit of a line spacing. Okay, drag it towards each other. See how beautiful that looks like. Okay, so I'm using basic colors, so I'm not trying to do something very crazy. I'm just doing something that will work for my design service. Okay, so that's that. Alright, the next thing I want to add is a call to action, because all your services need to have a call to action. So I'm gonna add another text here. I'm gonna add, but before I add text, I'm gonna come here and add a shape, and then something. Just pay attention to what I want to show to you. I'm gonna come here and add one of these shapes that is here, and this would be my call to action shape. We're gonna make it so small towards saying more like a call to action that I want people to do when people come in contact with the design. And you can use this for social media ads. And you're like, someone's like, wow, like, how do you do that? And stuff like that. And you're like, whoa, I just had to do it. Okay, like, just this didn't take me even up to how many minutes. If not that the fact that I'm teaching, I could do this in like 3 seconds or something. Like, and I'm having constant conversion to market to just about any person that I want to market to, because it really communicates the outfit. It really communicates what I want to sell. And seriously, sometimes you can just do this by yourself, and it's so amazing. Like, that's what a professional like I would is teaching you this, just trying to show you the basic things that you can do. I mean, like, I would show you through, like, teaching you the principles and then taking you through the practical aspect of this process. So I think that's okay. If I want to change anything, I'm gonna change it. I don't have a stroke there. I know definitely I don't have a stroke there. Okay, so let's look perspective, shadow. I think I would like to add a little shadow. Like, let me add a little shadow to that place, so it looks like it's a free form to what I want. Okay, it looks like a little shadow, and you could offset the shadow towards one side, and you could offset the other one towards the other side. So it's just like that. So I'll just keep it and offset it towards the side a little bit. Okay, so okay, let's pick on that one. It's not that bad. You could try a whole lot of things. You could remove the colors and stuff like that. I was actually looking for something. I don't know if it's available for me. I wanted to have the curve nodes. Okay, so I think this doesn't really allow me for that, but definitely I could see how I could do a whole lot of things. Do I have? Nope, doesn't allow me to do that. Okay, so I'm gonna add my text right here, and it's very simple with a call to action. Like I said, I'm gonna edit it on any side I can edit it. Sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna clean it and I'm gonna say shop now. All right, I'm gonna try to be consistent with the font, but before I do that, I'm gonna change the color to black. You can see I'm using this color to create that. I'm going to want to be consistent with the font size and the font style. So I could now maintain my font or pick something else. If it doesn't work, I can change it. Please bear with me. I could always change it. I can always change what I want anytime. So I was just looking for something quite bold and sensible. Alright, so I could say shop now, and depending on what I'm looking for, now I'm going to show you something. I want to move these two objects up. So how do I do that? Well, this is where I introduce layers to you. Okay, so over these layers, like I said, it arranges things according to what came first, what did I introduce second, what I introduced third, and those kind of things. So here you can now turn off and on the visibility of any of the elements. Okay, and then you can now re-edit the elements or delete it if you don't want. Well, there's something I want to do. I want to move these two elements forward. So if I'm done with it, if I'm done with these two elements that I just showed you, this is how I'm going to do to move it forward. First of all, I'm going to come to this icon here and select the two. Then I'm going to merge first if I'm done. Do you want to merge as one? Like, okay. Then now I can move it together. I can now move it. Okay. So that's how it is. I can now move it and click OK. So I'm going to turn off this. And you see, that was very easy for me to move as long as I was done. Then the next thing I'm going to introduce, I bring in my text, or I add here with regards to text. And it's a new text. I can put in my website or my phone number or anything you want. Or let me put my website, www.yourwebsite.com. I could space it a little bit to put my phone number, which is 000. You put yours. I just want to approach it from that perspective. So I can do this, and I click OK, and then I could scale it. Oh no, it's not gonna work like that. So I have to come to size, and then this is where size comes in handy, where you can reduce it and you can bring it proportionally down to where you think it's gonna be balanced. Okay, I like to arrange my designs in a very subtle way. Let's try something more. So yeah, put it here. It does work. Like sometimes you just have to break at least one of the rules, but let me just see if it works. Yeah, that all of them, I think all of them would work depending on how you want to do it. All of them would work. If I'm not so comfortable with this, can I show you something? If I'm not so comfortable with this, I could come here and click on Save Project As, okay, and I could call this Sales Add Design 1. I'm going to save it as a project in case I want to come back to that. Okay, I'm going to save it as a project. Now I'm going to start to reposition this somewhere else. I'm like, okay, so I want to change the align tool towards this position, and then I want to change this towards this position, then I want to change this towards this position. Something really basic, and I could create that, and I could keep this side for maybe my other wares, other features, special features that I want to introduce. So it also works like if you want to introduce those kind of features. Okay, let me add the text and just show you what I mean by that. So, but know that your design doesn't really need to be so much of a busy. I could call this trousers or clothings, I don't know, apparel, or apparel, shoes, I don't know, what else, wristwatches. Okay, my etc. delivery, etc. delivery, etc. Okay, so let's say this is all I want. Okay, I can now go back and reduce the size because I talked about visual hierarchy the other time we met. So I can reduce the size of this stuff, and then I could also, I think I'm going to increase the size a bit. I could come here and click on add, and I see add shapes, and this time around I'm going to choose a line, and then as I choose the line, I'm going to rotate it. Okay, I'm going to rotate my line. I'm going to make it small. Then I'm going to rotate the line to just about what I'm so sure I can do. So I'm not going to really rotate, I need this rotation. Okay, so I'm gonna rotate it to about 90 degrees. I guess that should be 90. I'll just keep it at 89, please. 89.91 is not that bad, but it's really showing. I really needed to change that to something very. I don't know why it's doing this. We're running out of time for this video, so I guess I would just go with that and then change the size. Okay, so all this is just what I was trying to just show you and stuff like that. Okay, so and then finally, if that was a little bit straight, you could have seen how it came out so nice. So this is so amazing. Then I'm gonna add one thing, some kind of a big stuff. Something this is something I would just like to introduce. Before I introduce that, I'll just add a shape again. I mean, like, this thing is just like working with basic shapes in terms of what you want to do, stuff like that. Okay, so I could use this one, scale it a bit, and call it scale it a bit. I would like to say, although this is a more basic color stuff, okay, and I might want to add a stroke here. Then just to showcase the fact that this is different, then I make the stroke opacity to be visible and stuff like that. Then I like to keep it in basic colors. I want to do something that's totally offshoot. Then I'm gonna come here and click on add text, and because I want to add text, it's super easy, guys. It's super easy. Like, it's super easy. Like, I'm really doing this with no amount of time. It's because I'm really, sometimes you really need to be careful with what you do. I'm gonna say 50% discount. I know you're trying to be so scared. 50% discount. Sorry, that's discount. So I'm gonna create that. I'm gonna make it center line. Okay. Then I'm gonna call this black. Gonna make sure it's black in itself in terms of color. Can change it to black because I just want to maintain that contrast right there. Then I could reduce the size to what I want. Okay, could reduce the size. I think I like that size. Then I could bring it here and then see how I could play with the size then. I'm going to introduce something. I don't really like how that looks, so I'm going to like make this bold. I'm going to have this in terms of style. I'm going to make it bold. Okay, that's for that. And watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to my text and edit. I'm going to have two texts in one. So I'm going to delete this. Okay, going to delete that. Let it be there. I don't want to hit that on anyway. But I'm going to add text, and this one, nope. I'm going to add a new text. Like, I'm going to add a new text, and this time it would edit it and call it. Don't worry, once I'm done, I'm going to merge it, so you don't need to be scared. I'm going to call it 50%. 50%. Okay. And my 50%, I'm going to make it so bold and big. So I'm going to come to size here and make it very big. I'm going to click on OK, come to bold face. I'm going to make it bold. You see? And I'm going to come here and then I'm going to change the color for contrast. Alright? Yeah. You see? That becomes a little bit workable. And if I want to make the size bigger, I can like go ahead and make it bigger. Like, what's stopping there? I want the 50 to be big, visible to people who want to see it. Alright? So it's so beautiful. Like, you just did this with how many seconds, and you say, I mean, it's not like you're doing something very crazy or something quite or trying to create all these illusions with your designs, but at least it's something quite basic and creative, and you're doing this just from the comfort of your home, and you're putting out there like you have a new super skill, new discount release, new arrivals and stuff like that, and you communicate so effectively. So I'm going to save this project, save as a project, and call it I could call my project name, like I said, this was sales ad. You see it's coming up as a suggestion, sales ad design. I could call this 2. That's what it does. I could call this 2. I am saving as project. I want to show you how I can open project. Okay, so here is it. If I say open project here, you can go back and see the first design that I did. Alright, so yeah, and from here I can continue. Like, if I don't want anything, can just go back and then continue from where I stopped to say, okay, I need this layout, I need to make changes here and there and that. I mean, like, it's super easy. For example, I can still add the text and you just continue to the project. That's what I just wanted to share with you. I mean, like, this is more like if you're trying to do something for social media, you remember that it has to be super simple, no too much text with stuff like that. So I'm gonna like just show you how this one would have been. I mean, like just changing things to make it work, because I want it to be my call to action, stuff like that. I have to move this first, but I'm not. I know that it's gonna move, so I'm just gonna put it somewhere, and maybe I'll send it to back, and that's where I now show you how these things work. Okay. All right. So if it's like you are working with a stroke color, I want to change this fill color. I'm going to change the stroke color to black, and I'm going to increase it. Well, it's always in its default color, and like I said, I can reduce this quickly, just something that can stand out, and then I can click OK, and then I can send it to back with this layer. I can say, okay, come to back. I want my text to be visible, and as soon as my text is visible, I can now edit the text here, just like I did the other one. I could say 50%, 50%. Okay, I'm going to make it so big like I did for the other ones, and I'm going to change the contrast in terms of color to black, and I'm going to make it a little bit bold and tight and strong. Like, I need it to fit properly. So come here to styles, and then click on bold and it's strong. You can click on OK, and introduce a new text, and call this. Try as much as possible to edit that. I'm going to edit that text and call it discount. Okay, so that's how I do it, and then from there I still make that one a little bit bold, and then make it was it bold? Yeah, and then make it scale the size a little bit in terms of just reducing the size a little bit. Okay, if I was okay, and then I'm gonna come to color and click on color, and come here and click on this, and you see, that's how you do it. Like, so simple, super easy for you to just communicate in few seconds. So it has to be super easy. I mean, like, I could do a whole lot of things. I could overlay this portion and work with only the picture right here, and not create some kind of an extra contrast layer and background down here. I mean, like, this can be shared on Instagram, on Facebook, on WhatsApp, on your status, on your blog pages, on your images. So let me show you how I can save the project as, okay, continue from sales ad. It's gonna come up. If I want to save this one, I can create. If I save it, it's gonna overwrite the other one. If I want to create a new project, to say sales ad design 3. Okay, so it helps me room to know which one I'm going to use. So let's see, how do you export to where you can use to your mobile phone? And when you export it, you're going to see it's going to be so visible. If you come back to me, I'm going to show you how you can create amazing designs, but go back, practice a whole lot of what you can do, and play with it, play around with it, overlay things, test on things. I mean, put things together the way you want it. Look at other people's design and try to get inspiration, and how you can come back to try to create your own compositions, and you'll be so amazed at what you can do. So let's look at how to export. So I'm going to come here and click on export image. So if I click on export, I can quickly save to gallery, because the project is already saved, and it's rendering. As soon as it's done rendering, you can see my image is going to be saved. If I was comfortable with the other one, I can go back to the other design, and it say any changes applied pretty much lost on this design. So I can bring this other one that I said, and I can also export, and that's how I export it and send to my clients on the go. If I'm not on my PC and I'm just on my tab, say, oh, can you help me? So I just felt that this was going to be helpful for as many that want to learn how to use Pixel Lab to do a whole lot of things for their products, for your services, for their branding, without actually contracting the services of an expert. I mean, you can do it by yourself, and you make things to work for you. So if this was helpful, I want you to leave me comments, and I'll be just there to help you. So cheers, and thank you for your time, and good luck.